All right, what I did is a unit I call Lost, and what I did is to take my 7th and 8th grade and my 9th and 10th graders as one point and maroon them on a desert island. And I chose to stick them in the South Pacific. I went to the map and randomly drew a giant circle in the South Pacific and told them to come and find an island on which they were going to be marooned. And their job was to go through and find out how they were going to survive both short and long term on the island. They were to decide what kind of flora and fauna grew on that island and how they might put each of those to use. So in essence, they were going to go do some research, get things together, figure out what was going on. So some of the things that I dealt with, the Common Core State Standards, 8.w.1.b, which is to support claims with logical reasoning and relevant evidence, using accurate, credible sources and demonstrating an understanding of the topic or text. So they went and did some research. They had to justify to me what they were dealing with. They had to justify that they'd actually found the animal or plant on the island and how it was going to be useful in helping them survive until such time as they could be rescued. The second Common Core State Standard was 8.w.6, which is to use technology, including the internet, to produce and publish writing and present the relationships between information and ideas efficiently, as well as to interact and collaborate with others. What I did is I made them each write a journal, and we're still in the process of this. I expected this, honestly, to be probably a 2-week unit. It was really more of a filler to start with than anything. When you've got that 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the class period where you're done with either lecture or your project is finished early or whatever else, you'd have 5 or 10 minutes to discuss what this might happen and kind of give them some talking points to deal with. What it turned into is just this gigantic mushroom cloud of this was so exciting that we couldn't stop doing what we were doing. And they went in and they did the research on the internet. They had to give me their sources. They have to write a journal. They have to collaborate with each other on a group journal. So there's individual journals of 30 days, and then a group journal of 30 days, which has to be somewhat, well, not somewhat, but completely coordinated so that they know what's going on. Somebody may be doing something completely different on the island than someone else, but the group journal is a little bit bigger that deals with everything that happened on the island that day. And they had to be able to back it up with the technological resources and the websites that they found the information on. The third was 8.sl.1.a, and this was a big one for me because it tells them they have to come to discussions prepared. They have to have read or researched the material that we were studying. They had to explicitly draw on that preparation by referring to evidence on the topic, text, or piece to probe and reflect on ideas under consideration. In other words, I didn't want them coming in and wanting me to tell them everything they were dealing with. I wanted them to be able to come out and delineate to me why they were dealing with certain topics they were dealing with. So they had to come in ready to talk about it. They couldn't just come in and sit and wait for me to tell them what was going on. And the environmental literacy standard, or natural resource standard I chose, and it's a long one, so bear with me, was to understand the physical and biological world in the environment, both physical and human characteristics of places and regions like the South Pacific, how differing points of view, self-interests, and distribution of natural resources plays a role in conflict over territory, and specifically I adapted that to being cooperation amongst groups, because I wanted the groups that were there were groups of 3 to 5, a total of 4 groups in one class, a total of 4 groups in the other class. I wanted them all to be able to discuss with each other what they needed. Each island had similar resources, so what I did is I went through and I got to play God, which was fantastic. I got rid of all the trees on one island, got rid of all the animals on another island, and got rid of all the plants on a third island. And so they had to come together and communicate with what they needed to build either shelters or pens or whatever else, and find a way that they could either barter for that or set up a monetary system in which they could actually spend some sort of monetary system's money. Came up with bird feet, which was kind of weird, or starfish legs. So we came up with those, we dealt with those, we're still kind of dealing with those in a very long-winded manner. But we're dealing with those things as best we can. And I went through Bloom's taxonomy and put down some ideas about what we were dealing with. I don't have that information sitting in front of me, but my YouTube video that I'll be uploading for you and sending you the link will have all of that information on it. So there you are.
Thank you.